This is Economy Watch, what you need to know about New Zealand's economic life today. Brought to you by interest.co.nz.
Kia ora, and welcome to Thursday's Economy Watch, where we follow the economic events and trends that affect Aotearoa. I'm David Chaston, and this is the international edition from interest.co.nz. And today we lead with news the American central bank is wondering if they've done enough yet to quash the inflation impulse. But first, US mortgage applications rose 1.9% last week from the previous week, adding to the 0.5% increase from that earlier week, and taking it to an unusual third consecutive week of gains in mortgage demand, and only the second time this year that has happened. But they remain 11% lower than last year's week level. Benchmark home loan rates slipped slightly, 6 basis points to just on 7% there. But the recent rise in existing home sales fell back in April, down 1.9% from a year ago and down 1.9% from March. It would have been a larger fall, but a surge in homes selling at the high end of the market capped the weakness. These are transactions less likely to need a mortgage, and that recent trend is also raising the median price. Yesterday's RBNZ scepticism that they're seeing needed last-mile progress in the inflation battle has been echoed in the US Fed in the minutes released earlier today for their May meeting. Getting to their target will take longer than they thought, these notes show. Some officials are open to another rate rise if needed to get on top of the stickiness. But in the end, they stuck with their faith in disinflation will get them there. The equity market slipped when this document was released. Prior to that release, the US Treasury had another very successful bond auction for a 20-year maturity, and that delivered a median yield of 4.58%, down from 4.77% at the prior equivalent event. And Japan's machinery orders rose 2.9% in March from February, slowing from the 7.7% month-on-month gain in February, but way better than market expectations, which assumed a March correction was likely of minus 2.2%. Year-on-year, March was up 11%. Their forecast suggests that the high levels of orders will be maintained in the coming 3 months. Of note is that very large constructions, separate from the machinery orders data, are running very strongly at present. But in China, their excavator sales, a market canary, fell almost 10% in the first 4 months of 2024, with domestic sales down 3% and export sales down 17%. In the UK, their CPI inflation rate eased to 2.3% in April, its lowest level since July 2021. However, that was higher than the 2.1% rate expected. But that progress was overshadowed by the announcement that the country would go into an election on July the 4th. That is much earlier than expected. The UK pound rose on the news. There is currently expected to be a change of government at that election. Some Australian survey data shows that most 45-year-old Aussies plan to retire soon after they reach 65. That is unchanged since 2018. There are now 4.2 million retirees in Australia. Given their workforce is 14.3 million, that means there are currently 3.4 workers per retiree. That same ratio in New Zealand is 3.3. The US Treasury 10-year yield is now at 4.43% and up 1 basis point from yesterday. And the price of gold will start today down $33 at $2,387 an ounce. And oil prices are down another $1 at $77.50 a barrel in the US, while the international Brent price is $81.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar starts today up a net 10 basis points from yesterday at just on 61 US cents. Against the Aussie, we're much firmer though, up more than 0.5 cent at 92 Australian cents. Against the euro, we're firmish at 56.3 euro cents. That all means our trade-weighted index starts today at just on 70.3 and up 20 basis points from yesterday. And the Bitcoin price starts today at $69,853 and up a mere 0.2% from yesterday. Volatility over the past 24 hours has been modest, at just on plus or minus 1%. You can find links to the articles mentioned today in our show notes, and you can get more news affecting the economy in New Zealand from interest.co.nz. Kia ora, I'm David Chaston, and we'll do this again tomorrow.